Hey folks, well, here we are all staying home. Let's learn how to maximize our garden space and produce more food. I've got 10 tips for you. If you follow my channel, you know we're all about suburban gardening, and I have a very small spot. I got a backyard, and I can use most of my backyard for growing food. And this year I've expanded a little bit, and I've done a lot of potted plants, and there are many ways that you can expand your growing space, or you can maximize the use of space in your yard. I've done some things to maximize the use of my space, like using linear spaces for vining plants, doing pumpkin pits for places that I can't build a full garden bed, but I can plug in a single plant. And I'm trying to think about how I can maximize that. I don't want to, we don't panic here. We believe in Jesus Christ, and we trust the Lord, and we believe that come what may, we are a blessed people. And so we're not going to panic, but we do want to be wise, and we want to prepare when we can. And so I'm just thinking of ways that maybe I could expand a little bit of growing space. I'm going to grow some sweet potatoes this year. I'm going to begin slips. I'm probably a little bit late, but late is better than never. Sweet potatoes can grow in the heat of summer, and they grow well in containers. And I've been doing some research. One of my friends has inspired me to look into sweet potatoes, and so I've purchased some from the store. I got some organic sweet potatoes. When you're trying to be cool and show a sweet potato shot and you drop one, it breaks in half. I'm going to put them in water in a couple, maybe 8 to 12 weeks. I'll have some slips I can plant. Hopefully in about 8 to 12 weeks we'll have all these little plants. They call them slips. They're just shoots that come out of the sweet potato. And what we'll do with those is we'll break them off with their roots and establish them as their own plants. That's the way you maximize sweet potato production, is you don't just plant the potato. Otherwise the plant just grows and uses up all the energy stored in this potato and doesn't produce a lot of tubers for you. But if you plant the plant with roots that comes off of one of these, and you take it away from its starch and its food and plant that, that will produce tubers. And so that's what we're going to do. Which end do you think is up? That's the way we're going to put it. Notice the sweet potato has two different sides. One of them is a little more blunt and one of them is pointy. So what you want to do is take a cup and orient this where it's in the cup, suspended by toothpicks, in the way we've all done it when we were elementary school kids. And you fill it up about halfway with water, or 2/3 of the way with water, and you wait. That's it. I'm just going to fill this up with water. I want to submerge most of it. There we have it. Now we just wait. Try to maximize growing space. Generally just because I like to grow a lot of stuff, and so I built that little deck over there, a little fig deck, just out of fencing wood. It's going to rot in 5 or 6 years, but if I raised it up on blocks, it would last longer. But yeah, that gives me a place to put a bunch of pots that I don't have to mow around and get in there and weed eat in between there. I've seen people use cloth, the agricultural cloth, that weed suppressing cloth, the real heavy duty stuff. You can build yourself a little plant station on. I did expand my beds this year. You can see over in that far bed, that's the original size of my beds. I added these two little extensions just for a little more space to grow, and I'm glad I did, because I need to maximize my growing this year. I added this bed and another one like it on the other side of my fig deck. That's what I call that little platform. And I'm thinking of ways that I can expand more. Now, the problem with my yard and expanding this way is that these trees continue to grow and shade that area. And my house casts shade from on this side of the yard as well, because that's the tall part of the yard. And as goofy as it sounds, I want my dog to have a place to exercise and run and play, because she's a corgi, she's a working dog, and she needs that. She needs to be worn out at least once a day. Just to keep her sane. So I trying to think of ways I can expand my garden. Figured if I'm going to have these ornamental trees in my backyard cluttering up the place, that I should make use of them. All this is deadfall and trimmings and prunings from my trees. I'm letting this stuff rot right here at the base of these trees. This will rot in place and slowly over the years compost down, and I'll have some good soil here. In the meantime, it'll feed the trees. We let this area go a little wild back here, but I do have this little bed here in which I put another muscadine. This is a southern home, and I'm just letting it grow up this tree and go wild. And boy, does it grow. It's already gone. You can see right up in there. And it's grown across my son's little fort deck right there, and I expect it to go up all over this tree. It's not pruned, therefore it won't produce as much fruit, but it's a little fruit. This area between my garden beds and the fence, I've put in these muscadines. There are 4 of them, and I trellis them on a wire up there. They're off the ground, so that's a good way to make use of a narrow space. This is a bunch of junk back here is where I do my potting. And yeah, there's more space back here. I could probably extend these a little further if I need to. You tear a hole in your frisbee, it gets wrapped around your head. Crazy dog. On this side of my yard, I've just dug pits here. These are pumpkin pits. I'll link you to the video on how to grow pumpkins in a pit just right smack in the middle of your yard. And so I put another one in. Once again, I'm doing one of these pumpkin pits, and I almost forgot to show you what's in there. I've got eggshells, tortillas, apple cores and bits of turnip waste, some compost, a couple of coffee filters, some frozen chicken waste, and paper goods. All this goodness is about 1.5 feet down, and now I'm just going to cover over so that this can compost in place. And I'm going to mound up a hill here and plant some melons. I have these wonderful little melons here. I'm going to see if I can't grow some over in this area. This area gets a lot of sunshine. It's the south side of the house, and I mean, tropical stuff grows here, so why not that? I think these will grow fine. I'm also going to grow on that wall on the other side of that fence 2 more pits. And I'm thinking, since I don't use this particular bin of my 3-bin system of compost here, I've got my leaf mold here, my compost, and a storage bin. I can take all this stuff out, fill it with soil, at least partly, and grow my sweet potatoes in here. What do you think? I think it's a good idea. This is an interesting spot. This is my front yard. My garden is back there. My compost pile is right through that fence. And I have a nice thing going here. I've never grown anything here, so this is fresh soil. Probably not real high quality soil, but I could put in a pumpkin pit or 2 right out here, because I'm going to grow elderberry trees at some point right here. This south-facing wall absorbs heat. It forms a little bit of a microclimate because that wall will retain heat through the night, and kind of bump my zone maybe from 9A to 9B. But there's another thing that goes on here. In our humid environment, my air conditioner draws a lot of moisture out of the air, and that moisture is often dripping from these 2 drains. I have 2 drains on my AC because we have so much moisture. We've put in a second drain for overflow, but they drain right here. This is constantly moist soil right in here, and that pipe runs off into here. There's a channel here. This is the way they build our plots. The middle of between our 2 homes is the drain, but this one drains right there, and I need to redirect it so it doesn't rot my fence. But you can see that I could make use of that nice pure water. As long as we got electricity, I have a drip of water in the summer. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put in some pumpkin pits here. I have a weedy little flower bed up in the front of my house, and normally I grow hibiscus bushes in here and let them just go crazy out here so I don't have to weed. It's kind of trashy right now, but I have plugged in kale and some cabbages out here. Yeah. But yeah, you can grow in your flower beds and maximize your space. This soil isn't producing anything edible for me. I need to make it where it does. So there's our 10 tips, and there's a lot of overlap in there, but you get the point. And while I'm not an alarmist, I want to be wise and I want to plan for the future, because none of us knows how long we're all going to be stuck at home. and none of us knows how long our ability to go buy food is gonna still be, you know, relatively simple. Yeah, I don't look forward to having troubles like that, but if troubles like that come, I'd like to have higher density of food available to me in my garden. So yeah, thanks for joining us today. I hope it was encouraging, get your mind going, get you thinking about how to expand, and I hope that you're doing well. And thank you so much for watching our channel. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. During the spring and summer, I try to do 2 videos a week. Oftentimes I'll do more. But yeah, if you subscribe and hit the bell, you'll be notified. Like us on Instagram and Facebook too, and I'll talk to you next time. Happy gardening. Bye-bye.